Okay, so I'm going to show you how to put back together a Magpul Pmag PTS M version. This is not the beta projects or the star label or green label mags. This is PTS. Alright, and so this was a PTS mag that I had in the previous ones that I was having problems with feeding. Ever since I bought it straight out of the bag, it's been having problems. So I've been thinking about doing some mods. I've heard a couple of different ways. One was to take the BB follower and to kind of put an angle to it so it would look more like this, if you can kind of see that angle, like a slanted angle to it, and actually like shave that down. I didn't really like that idea too much, so I came up with something a little different that's really worked well, and that was to, I don't know if you can see it there, but I took a piece of metal that was rounded and the same size as a 6mm BB, and I heated it up using a torch and then slowly pushed it into this plastic here to make a BB notch. Here's my little piece of metal that I used that I had, and so all I did is just heat it up and then I put it in there, and you can see it fits in there nicely, and just made a little notch in the follower there. I don't think I have a BB laying around that, if I can find one here really fast, I could show you how it would sit in there. But what this is going to do is when the first BB goes in, it's going to sit right in this notch, and it's not going to allow the BB to slide on either side. So it sits right in that notch there, and then no matter where that BB goes, this follower is going to just cup right to it. And it's so far preliminarily, I've loaded it with 120 rounds and then tried to cram in more and really put some stress on the feeder, and it didn't slip and it didn't jam or anything. And I even dry cycled it where I didn't put any lube in it, and it fed perfect. All the conditions where it normally would jam, this mag so far have not jammed. So this is looking like a pretty good modification that I did to this follower right now. I'll update it later after so many games and still see if I have any problems with it. But so far this seems to be showing some good signs or promising signs. Alright, so the way to put your shell back together, you're going to need several things. First is you're going to need this piece here, which is the BB, like what I call BB trap. Basically it keeps the BBs loaded and only opens once you put it inside of the mag well. Alright, so you're going to put this piece, it goes in there like that with this little spring. Okay, and just be careful with it because it is under tension. You can see right there, it doesn't take much to pop it out. So I know I'm probably doing this upside down as the way you see it, but it's the easiest way. Okay, so the next thing you're going to install is this bottom piece here, and there's two springs, and it has these little channels that are going to fit down into these two channels that are here. This can be kind of tricky because both springs are pretty strong springs, so you're going to want to do this kind of carefully. Just push them in, and you got to get it over the lip like so. And once you get that done, you're going to want to try to get this bottom on here as quickly as possible. Oh, don't forget this piece. This is a little, basically a washer that will screw the mag, this holder, into the shell over here. So, and that piece goes right in that slot right there. Once you get that done, go ahead and put your two halves back together, and do that quickly before any of the springs decide to pop loose on you. And it should just kind of pop right back together once you get everything lined up. Oh, that little washer's not quite in place. There we go. There, and the two halves are now back together. Go ahead and put all your screws in. Now we're doing things a little out of order what I normally would do, but a friend of mine, Lionel, kind of cued me into an easy way to get the spring back in. My way that I did it was to kind of have the spring in there but not try to compress it down to where actually the spring is continuing to still come out this channel up here. Oh, I just moved everything a bit. Yep, I have to take it apart. I would actually have the spring inside of here and then let it extend out of the channel and then use a small screwdriver to kind of feed it down in there. But he showed me told me a much easier way to do it, and it is quite a bit easier way. So, okay, let's hope we don't lose any springs now. Cool. Okay, screwdriver. And you want to make sure that these two halves are screwed down fairly tight. What I usually do is after I take one apart, I will get everything sealed up and then start putting BBs through it and just feed it and then release all the BBs and feed it and release all the BBs. Make sure that there's no hang-ups or that I haven't over-tightened one of these screws and caused like a pinching point in the shells. So I just kind of tighten them down. And if it's apart, you can also lube it up then at that point if you wanted to. Yep, see, and then the whole mag is now back together minus the feed spring, and the button at the bottom is working. Okay, so this is the easy way to do it. This goes in this spot here when it's all done, and to get it off, when you have the two shells apart, there's a little push right here. You just kind of push this part and it pops right out of that window. So just take your follower, start feeding it into the mag, and like I said, thanks to my friend, this is much easier than the way I was doing it. And you just put it in there, and then you can kind of see that tab, how when you push that in, it's going to lock right into the mag, just like so, and you're done. And then you can see the lip and the follower and everything. Okay, so your mag is done. The internal, all you do then is slide it into your shell, reinstall your little Allen screw there. Let me get my Allen key. I believe this is a size 2. Yep, size 2 Allen key is what you need. Put it back. Okay, so just tighten it up. There. Put your base plate back on. And you're done. And that's how you reinstall your Magpul PTS Masada or PTS mag. And these have been the best mags that I've owned. Easy to maintain. And other than this one, I really haven't had any problems with jamming. And now that I've done that mod to it, I haven't had any. What normally would cause a jam in this has not caused a jam yet. So we will see how it holds up in the future. But thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and feel free to leave them at the bottom. Thank you.